Come on, everybody. Here we go. Off to Weberland.
Hi, friends.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back to our podcast. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Ryan.
And we are Adventures in Weberland. This is episode 11.
11.
I almost said 12 again.
You like that, or maybe 12 is going to be like the special episode.
12 is my favorite number.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yes, you did. That was like my softball number. And anyway, before we hit record, I was like, it's episode 12, right? Like 5 times. Ryan's like, no.
11.
Mm-hmm. So, a little different thing we got going on for this episode. Mm-hmm. We did not have audience participation.
No.
But that's okay. Something
on
that...
purpose.
Yes, because it's something that people have been asking us to do. Mm-hmm. So, before we get to that, though, let's talk about some news.
Ooh.
Something that you want to actually bring up because you're a little upset about it.
I knew it was coming.
Well, I think we knew a lot was going to happen with Frontierland here in Magic Kingdom, but...
Even like, when I was there last time, I'm like, oh, this might be the last time I'm doing this.
Yeah, so there is an attraction in Frontierland that is closing permanently. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Want to do the honors?
It's the Frontierland Shooting Arcade?
Yes.
Okay.
Frontierland Shooting Arcade.
And it's free now. It used to cost money.
Yeah. So it's literally like an arcade game. It's one of those, was it a rifle, I guess?
Yeah,
right?
It's a gun, and you shoot it at different things that pop up or targets that are there. And it's a lot of fun. It is.
It was a lot of fun because it's going to be closing. And what's going to take its place, Ryan?
A DVC lounge.
Yes. A DVC lounge that if you are Disney Vacation Club, you can access. If you're not, you can't. But that's okay.
It seems like kind of small to be a DVC lounge, but that's maybe if they build up. I don't know.
Well, no, they'll probably build back.
Okay.
Is what I'm going to assume they're going to do. Because there's stores around there as well, and they go in pretty deep.
Yeah.
So who knows how they're going to do it. I mean, they have to gut the whole thing, obviously, to make it a lounge.
Yeah.
But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we're not DVC members.
No.
But... I want to say the only lounge is in Epcot, no?
Yeah, well, they had, they made an annual pass lounge, like a temporary one.
Yes.
But the DVC lounge, it's above Figment in Epcot.
Yeah, the Imagination Pavilion. And I know they've done, like, pop-up DVC lounges as well in different parks. But but if this is going to be like a permanent thing, I think the only other one is above the Imagination Pavilion, or in the Imagination Pavilion, but above Figment.
Yeah. Well, this should be interesting. They're changing the whole area, and I'm surprised that the Country Bear survived, to be honest.
Clearly.
And I think Pecos Bills is next, personally.
I do too, because also there is news floating around. I read it on Disney Food Blog that there has been a permit filed for Big Thunder Mountain. Now, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Nobody knows, right? So they're either going to do something to Big Thunder Mountain or they're going to do something beyond Big Thunder Mountain, which is the news that has been has been talked about.
That's right.
To have an extension of the park beyond Big Thunder, and there's obviously talk of Coco. There's talk of villains. I mean, there's a million different rumors going around, and we really don't know. But clearly, things are going to be happening around Frontierland because this permit ends August, I think, of 2025.
Oh, wow.
Which means that they're going to be doing stuff, whether it's construction or planning. Things are going to get touched in Frontierland from now until at least August of 2025.
Yeah. I think it's going to be good stuff, though. And I have to give props. I think that Mickey Views on YouTube, he is usually right about things, and that's what he's saying is happening too. He's saying they're going to do like a villains Coco thing. So
I mean, I hope they do, and I don't think they'll mess it up.
No.
I think they know what they're doing for the most part. But I mean, you're competing with this epic universe that's about to open at Universal, and I mean, I think pun intended, it is epic.
It is, and it's very well themed. And then we're getting on the other side, we're getting these the Epcot walls down, and it's looking like a college cafeteria and stuff. So the theming is not there, but that's okay. Now, I think Universal's doing a great job as well with that. I'm excited to actually go there to Epic Universe, but I do think Disney needs to build a 5th park and not just keep adding to Magic Kingdom, because there's already a lot to do there. Yes,
and I'm sure that idea has come up in corporate meetings many times. There has to be a reason why they're not.
Yeah.
And
they need a great idea, maybe.
Not knowledgeable enough to know the answer to that.
I think we should do a podcast on, if there was a 5th park, what would you make it?
I like it.
What would you put in it?
I like it.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea, right?
I have 0 ideas, because mine would just be build a villains park.
The whole thing should be. I mean, wouldn't you go to that?
Well, I would, yes. But
maybe a heroes and villains together.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that's everyone's idea.
Yeah.
You have to, I don't know, because with Animal Kingdom being the last park that was built, like that was very outside of the box. Like no one thought, hey, let's put a zoo in the middle of Disney World. It's brilliant.
Walt wanted that, though. He wanted a park like that, so that's why they did it. So maybe there wasn't any other ideas that Walt had, so they don't feel like it's right to do anything. Maybe, I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
There might be a book they follow.
Yeah. Well, anywho, one more little piece of news. R.I.P. to this version of Test Track.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
listen, I'm all for this.
Yeah,
I am good with a brand new Test Track.
They're keeping the outside though, is what I've heard. So I think it needs an upgrade.
It does.
But again, at the same time, I like that feeling of Epcot that it creates. So that feeling is slowly going away, and it will eventually. But and then when they do Spaceship Earth too, and it's going to change things.
Well, Spaceship Earth, they were planning on doing Spaceship Earth, and it was supposed to be closed for what, like 2 years?
Yeah.
And they obviously didn't do anything to it because of the pandemic. It's hard to say, because it's one of my favorite rides, as dumb as that sounds. Like, I know a lot of people that are like, how can you ride that ride? And it's just so nostalgic for me, and I think that's what it is. I love it. I don't care how many times we break down in that ride. I love it. But I get it. My thing is that I would prefer more of tweaking and an upgrade as opposed to a whole new vision and a whole new ride. I don't want that.
Yeah, I would just say fix the track and the ride vehicles themselves and keep everything the same.
Yeah. Well, so that's not what this episode is about.
But it's about enjoying your experience at Disney.
Yes, it is. I'm going to backtrack for a second and go back to our first piece of news, which is the Shootin' Arcade being closed down for a DVC lounge.
So sad.
Because this episode, we are going to talk about DVC.
DVC.
Disney Vacation Club.
That's what it means.
Yes. We are not members.
No.
But
wannabes.
We are wannabes. Let's be real. We totally are. But there's a lot that goes into owning. I mean, I'll be honest. It is a lot of money. Yeah. It is a lot of money to buy into Disney Vacation Club.
It's a big commitment.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
A 50-year commitment.
That's right.
Max. So there are a lot of people, and for a couple years now, we've been getting this question. How do you stay at Deluxe Resorts often? Because we're not rich people. We can't afford thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every time we go to Disney World. And we go to Disney World very often. Yeah. On average, 3 times a year. And, it's usually for a week. So that's 3 weeks out of the year. We're from New Jersey. Yeah. It's not like we're from Georgia or North Carolina or South Carolina where we can just drive there. Can we drive? Yes. But we have jobs.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
the flight honestly, the flight is the worst part. I think is the most expensive part of the trip.
Absolutely. So there is a trick that we do, and that's rent Disney Vacation Club points. So again, if you're not familiar with Disney Vacation Club, in a nutshell, probably the easiest way to explain what it is basically a timeshare.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. You buy points at a certain deluxe resort or a Disney Vacation Club resort that Disney owns, and you pay per point depending on how many points you buy.
And I believe they can charge you, whoever owns the points, they can charge you a certain number, right?
Yeah, so I'm not at the renting part yet. I'm just talking about owning Disney Vacation Club, a membership right now. Like owning the timeshare part of it, basically, is what I'm saying. And that's what you do. I believe Disney, if you buy through Disney, the minimum amount of points right now is 100. You have to buy 100 points minimum. I believe that's what it is. Okay.
It keeps changing,
and the price keeps changing is what it is. And I'm actually going to look up what it is per point.
Now you might be at Disney and walking through the Grand Floridian like we did and get stopped by someone that says, "Hey, you want to buy DVC points?" There's a lot of them around, and it does kind of interrupt your vacation. But at the same time, if you're interested, it's a really good person to talk to. And actually the person that did stop us at the Grand Floridian, you still do talk to once in a while.
Yes.
And it's a good connection to have if you're interested. If you're not, it's kind of a nuisance. But
but they don't hound you.
No.
They might stop you. They might say hi. They might, plug in your information if you stop and you're interested.
Yeah.
If you want to go for a tour, you can do that. Sometimes there is incentive to that. I've known people. I haven't seen people, but I know people that have gone on like a 90-minute tour and they've gotten like a gift card.
Yeah, you get a gift card.
It's not something that always happens. Maybe they'll give you a lightning lane or something like that. But it's really not. They're not there to pester you.
Well, I'm just saying, because you're enjoying the vacation, you're in that Disney bubble. It kind of like interrupts it a little bit, just a little bit. But I think it's the only time where they're like, "Hey, what about this?"
Right?
They're not. When you're at a Disney store or merchandise, there's no way there's ever someone trying to get you to buy something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I found it. So it is a minimum of 100 points. And right now, this is the price that changes. Right now, it's at $225 per point.
Wow. Okay.
I remember when it was $133.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I remember when it was cheaper than that because it's something that we've, always looked into. So that's to purchase Disney Vacation Club. If you're not able to do that and you still want to stay deluxe, there are different options. Your first option is to, basically make your reservation through Disney, which would be considered a cash room. You can do that.
Yeah.
You can go on, the Disney World website and book your vacation at, I don't know, Saratoga Springs, at Old Key West, at Grand Floridian, at the Polynesian, at all those villas. You're able to do that as long as it's available. Yeah. However, it is very, very, very expensive. You are looking at $700, $800, even $900 a night.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. It's very high.
Yes,
and most people cannot afford that.
Right. But we can't, that's for sure. It's crazy. We spent that money once, and that was for our honeymoon because we did decide to splurge. We did do a split stay. We had a 1-bedroom at Animal Kingdom Lodge, which was gifted to us, which was very nice.
Yeah.
And then the other half of our honeymoon, we decided to book a room at Boardwalk. Yeah. I almost said Beach Club. It was not Beach Club. It was Boardwalk.
We wish. No.
Yes.
Boardwalk was good too.
At Boardwalk. And it was, at that time, it was around $400 a night, which isn't horrible. But the prices have gone up since then. That was a couple years ago. So what we do is we use actually a bunch of different websites because there's a bunch of different ways that you can go and rent Disney Vacation Club points. Now, going back to what you were saying earlier, the way you rent these points is you are basically paying, if you will, a Disney Vacation Club member who wants to get rid of their points. Not necessarily sell them to you, but they will rent them out to you. Maybe they can't use them. You know, that's usually what happens. There is a certain time frame to use those points as a member. So if they're not able to do that, what they'll do is they'll put them up for rent. Hey, I have, I don't know, 50 points, you know, that I'm renting out at, let's say, $18 a point, $19 a point, $20 a point, whatever. And people like us will go and rent those points from those members. Again, a couple different ways we have done it already. The first one is DVC Rental Store.
That's right.
Which is our favorite
I think so.
way to do this. And what you do is there's a member option and a guest option. You obviously want to hit the guest option. You want to plug in the dates that you're looking for, the amount of people, and basically you just hit search. And what that website will do is give you all of the deluxe resort options that are available during those dates and all different room types. So whether you want a deluxe studio, which is basically just like a regular hotel room. A studio is considered a regular hotel room. Or a 1-bedroom. Certain resorts have a 2-bedroom, and there are even ones that have the grand villas and 3 bedrooms and, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So
7 bedrooms.
Don't we wish? So if it's available during your dates, like I said, you will see those options. So let's say you pick a deluxe studio, just a regular room. It will give you the price, the full price of what you will pay. But the key is at DVC Rental Store, there are a couple other websites that do this. I know DVC Shop does this as well. You can put a down payment. You don't have to pay the full price right away. That's if you get approved. You have to get approved. So there is a request form you will fill out. They will reach out to you and say, hey, you want to stay at Saratoga Springs in a deluxe studio on this date to this date. Guess what? It's open. It's available. But now what you have to do is you have to wait for a DVC member to come along and basically book it for you.
And say, hey, here it is.
Right.
And then you're in, then you can put a deposit down, right? And then you wait, and a certain amount of days before the trip, you have to pay the rest, right? It's
so the way DVC Rental Store works, this one specifically, and I believe the DVC Shop might work a little different, but for DVC Rental Store in particular, what you do is I believe it's 75 days before your trip.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay. So that's 75 days. You pay the whole amount?
The rest of it.
Okay.
Because like I said, you do put, I believe it's 20% down. That's the down payment you put down, your deposit.
Okay.
And then 75 days before you pay the rest of it. If you are within those 75 days, you have to pay it in full.
Okay.
Up front. So that's one way we do it. Like I said, there are other websites. We've used DVC Shop before. There's also David's, which is a very, very, very popular one. We personally have never used it. I do know people who have, and they recommend it. So that's another one to look out for is David's.
I hear about that one a lot.
I
like the Facebook group, honestly. That it's a DVC rental Facebook group that we've been on before. We've done that before. And that was really a good experience, too. And I think the lady knew it was like a special trip, and we got upgraded. So, I mean, you know, that also, when they know something like that, it's kind of like a special treatment.
Yeah, so there are a ton of Facebook groups out there that are DVC, you know, rentals, even resale, because you can't, you know, that's a whole different thing.
It is harder to trust that, but...
Well, that's what I was going
Yeah.
to say. You got to be very careful with the Facebook groups because there are scammers. So there are some key things that they tell you to look out for when you're renting through a Facebook group. Is you always want to ask for references. We have actually been a reference for someone before.
Yeah, and also like a contract, they ask you, say, hey, make sure they have one. They have a contract.
Yeah, you want to ask for a contract that they're signing and that you're signing.
Yeah.
That way, there's leverage. There's proof.
Yeah, it's a little scary that way. It's much more professional and safer through the websites that we use. So, and it is a little scary. It's a little confusing because I'm still confused about a lot of it. You know it better than I do. So, but it's like it saves tons of money.
It really does. You're basically, in a nutshell, you are staying at a deluxe resort at a moderate price, a moderate resort price. So it's way cheaper. I mean, I'm trying to think what deluxe resorts we have stayed at where we have rented points. And it's been Saratoga. It's been Polynesian.
Grand Floridian. One night.
It still counts.
Still counts.
Boardwalk.
Yeah, Boardwalk. Is there anything else?
I think that's it.
Yeah, because
but we've done it multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because the value resorts we stay at too, and those are great as well. And we were talking about how they do have benefits as well. You don't always have to rent DVC points, but
no, you don't. But this is if you want to stay deluxe. So let's start with the value resorts for a second. Your values are all three of the all-stars: the sports, the music, and the movies. Then you have Pop Century, and then you have Art of Animation. Now, Pop Century and Art of Animation are connected to the Skyliner.
That's right.
So those two resorts are more money, a little bit more money than the three all-star resorts are. The thing about the All-Stars is that All-Star Music, which is the middle one, has family suites.
Yes, and we didn't know that until like Jagger was born, and we're like looking into it, and we're like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
This changes the game a little bit.
Yeah, it was great, actually. I loved it. It's obviously more money than a regular room would be at the All-Stars.
A little bit.
But I mean, you walk in and it has two beds. It has a regular bed and then it has a Murphy bed, and then there are two bathrooms. There's a little kitchen area.
Yeah.
No stove, but there is a microwave. There's a sink and there's a full fridge.
Yeah.
Like
it's pretty big.
It's
actually.
huge.
Yeah, it's nice to have,
especially for the All-Stars, and then a whole nother bedroom with another bed in it.
So like the thing that sold us on that is like we can have a lot more space with a child or someone sleeping and more freedom and it would just added to the trip at a discounted price.
Right.
And now the Art of Animation, I personally love the Art of Animation because of all especially the cars land, the cars area, because Jagger loves the cars. It's fun. Like you go out there, you see the cars, but they have the suites that are pretty big. They're pretty big, for the price. It is a little pricey. I have to say it's gotten more pricey for those because people probably, they realize it, so now they're selling a lot more of those. But I don't know, if just you don't feel like you're staying in a hotel. Like the All-Stars are great if you're a couple.
Yes.
But when you're a family with little kids, when they get older, I think it's going to be good to go back there. But right now, there's no room, and you need room for a pack and play for bottles, at our point right now. So like it works really well for us to rent those DVC points and have a little bit more room and stay at a nicer place for pretty much the same price. Almost.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing about Art of Animation. There is only one section, and that's the Little Mermaid section that has regular studio rooms.
That's true.
You're right. It's Cars, Lion King, and Nemo, right?
Yeah.
Those are the other three. Those all have the suites. It's basically like a 1-bedroom suite. So add that price, right? Because it's obviously has to be more expensive. It's a whole bedroom, another bedroom.
Yeah.
So at that price, compared to a regular studio room. And then add the fact that it's connected to the Skyliner.
Yeah.
There are times you're looking at almost $500, maybe even
Sometimes.
more than that,
Yeah.
a night, when you can rent DVC points and stay at a deluxe resort for the same price.
Less than that, almost.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Again though,
Less.
just like you said, and I agree with you. Art of Animation is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Especially for the young ones, especially for little kids. It is literally whatever section you stay in. You don't even have to stay there. You can just walk through it. The car section, I mean, it's literally like as if you went into the movie.
Yeah. Lion King section 2 is awesome.
They have the big statues of there's Rafiki and there's Simba and Timon and Pumbaa. I mean, it's as if you were dropped into the movie. It is so cool. It really is.
It really is. It immerses you in Disney. Like you really feel like you're there. So that's what I like about it. Like with the deluxe resorts, not so much. Like you're kind of, it's fancy, but there's not as much. There's hints of Disney in there instead of like in your face.
Yeah.
So if you like that, then it's good. Like it all depends, I think, on your family or who's going. Because if it's just me and you, we're gonna go to the All Stars and stay there.
Absolutely.
and because we don't need the room. We're not going to be in the room that much.
Right.
You're in the room more with the kids and all that. So. And so to have this other avenue of DVC points and renting them, it changes the game.
Right.
And you're able to go more often than you normally would.
Right, because you're not paying the priciest price, through Disney.
And it's pretty easy to do once you figure it out.
Yes, it is.
Now,
And totally legal, by the way.
Yeah. We weren't sure about that, but it is. I think they do support it all. So it's it's a great alternative to have if you're like, because you're looking at all the, sometimes this happens where we're like even the All-Stars are a lot, and there's no good prices right now, but then you find someone that's willing to rent points, and it changes everything.
Yeah.
So it's hard sometimes to find your dates, especially I feel like sometimes there's like, oh, we have this to this, but not this. Your specific dates. So I think go into it open and
flexible.
Be flexible and ahead of time.
Yeah, the reason why that happens, and this is again a little off of what we're discussing, because we're not discussing membership, but the reason why that happens is as a DVC member, as a Disney Vacation Club member, you buy your points at a certain resort. That's your home base. That doesn't mean you can't stay at the other resorts, the other deluxe resorts, because you can. But the way it works is whatever resort you buy into. So for instance, give me a DVC resort. I don't care which one. Just pick one.
Grand Floridian.
Okay, Grand Floridian. Let's say you buy your points into the Grand Floridian, and that is your home base, right?
Yeah.
You are allowed to book your rooms and use your points 11 months out. So let's use the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
January. Let's say let's say you want to go in November.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's, maybe this is a bad example. What is it, June?
Yeah.
June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Yes, I am doing it on my, that was like really stupid. I don't know why I just didn't go back one. So let's say, guys, it's really late at night while we're doing this. My brain is mush at this point. So let's say, let's say you want to go and stay at the Grand Floridian in May of 2025. So next May.
I do.
I know you do. But you own at the Grand Floridian. Right now, you can go and book a room because you are 11 months out from your stay. But let's say you, again, own at the Grand Floridian. You are a DVC member and you own your points at the Grand Floridian. But you want to stay at the Polynesian, not the Grand Floridian. You cannot book until 7 months out.
Oh, okay.
That's the catch, and that's the difference, right? So that's why you're going to find that some of these members that are renting out their points have only certain dates available because maybe they weren't able to book something else because they don't own at a different resort. This is, they own here at A. They don't own at B, C, D, and E, even though you want to stay there.
Makes sense.
That's how that works.
Yeah.
That's why you have a home base.
I just think it's a great thing that you have this option, and it's less expensive for the normal family or person or whoever, and that it exists, because before it probably didn't. It didn't exist, where you were either a DVC member or you're just going to Disney, once whenever you can afford it.
Right.
And when things are getting more expensive as they are, like, it's good to have this in your back pocket.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, it's a lot of information. It's a lot of little details, but like Ryan said before, once you get it, it's so easy. And we are very open to answering any type of questions that you might have if this interests you.
Yeah.
Because this is something we are doing more and more often.
Yeah.
Every trip, actually, our last couple trips have been on. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry, not the last one.
The Grand
Coronado.
Casino, that one wasn't, because
that wasn't. That's not Disney Vacation Club.
A quick little trip, and it was a great deal.
Right. So actually, let me go over that in case you're not aware. These are the Disney Vacation Club resorts. These are the deluxe resorts that are in Disney World. You have your monorail loop. Yeah. So you have the Grand Floridian. I almost said the Grand Californian.
Ooh, I want to go
That's
there.
DVC, but that's California. The Grand Floridian, the Polynesian, and the Contemporary. It's considered Bay Lake Tower.
Yeah,
that's
Bay
what it's
Lake
called.
Tower. Yeah.
Then you have also in your Magic Kingdom area, you have Wilderness Lodge.
Which is very nice.
Yes, and you have Fort Wilderness, the cabins, which they are reopening. They reopened, which I want to stay there. So I wanted to stay there before they took them down and redid them. Yeah, the cabins, but that's definitely a place I want to go to.
I saw a little clip of one of the cabins broke on the news. They broke down on the highway that they were pulling away.
Oh, that's funny, really. That's really funny. So those are your Magic Kingdom resorts. Then you can head over to your Epcot resorts, and your Disney Vacation Club resorts. There are the Boardwalk and Beach Club.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yep. And there's Yacht Club?
Yacht Club is not DVC.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yacht Club is there, but Yacht Club is not Disney Vacation Club. Then you have Saratoga Springs. You also have Old Key West. Old Key West is the original. And then you also have Animal Kingdom Lodge, which we've stayed at as well. Which is
very nice.
Then you also have the brand new Disney Vacation Club Resort, which is the Riviera.
Okay, yeah, that's nice.
Yes.
Like that.
Yes.
So you can rent points for all these things and go through the website and figure out the dates you're going, and then you have even a more luxurious trip.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. So again, our inbox on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, we have an email, believe it or not. It's all open if you have any questions about this. I know it's a little confusing, but once you get it, it's easy. We are very open to answering any questions that you have. I hope this helped. Yeah. A lot of people were asking for this. So I hope this helped.
Quick little way to find information about it. That's all. And, it make you understand it, because it is confusing.
Yes.
So
before we end, we are going to end here. I know we're 2 days late, but happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Ryan. Happy Father's Day to all the dads.
Happy Father's Day out there.
Yeah, and moms. If you're the dad too, there. Whatever. Happy Father's Day. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was a great weekend.
Yes. And on that note, we'll hang out with you on the next Adventures in Weberland.